Hi everyone. So let me just check this once if I'm audible. So today I'll be discussing about the respiration in plants. So this is a new chapter that I'll be starting. But yeah, I'll be giving an introduction to respiration in plant. So let me just check this. Okay, it is live now, right? Alright then. Okay, so let's get started. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I am an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. All right. So join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology and the Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISE both. So this link you can find in the description box. So go to the description box, find this link there. Alright, and you can also ask doubt if you guys have any doubt regarding the topics. Okay, also we'll be conducting a special classes on Unacademy platform, so you can learn live from your favorite educator. So basically learn from your favorite educator for free, so you can attend a live session there. All right, and engage with educator via poll. So we'll be conducting the topic wise session also, and also we'll be conducting a quizzes or question answer discussion sessions and all. So you can you can be a part of these sessions, mainly the quiz when we mention. So we basically a lot of students will come there. Okay, and at the end of the leaderboard we'll be sharing the the rank. So basically leaderboard will be sharing so that you can know your rank and compete with your friends there. All right, and so we'll be giving the certificates to top 3 as well in the quizzes. So all you have to do is download the Unacademy Learners app and start taking up the sessions which are happening, that is the free sessions. Okay, then clear your doubt in the live special class. So there is a separate question tab where you can type in your question. So you even have an option to attach an image and send it to the educator during a live session. So the educator will be getting a notification that the learner has asked the doubt and will be clearing your doubt. So now for the top special classes, you can visit the link in the description. Alright, so you can go to description box. There you will find the link for Unacademy ICSE and ISE channel. So that is Telegram link. The special class link you can find, that is my special classes. And other than that, and also the community link you can find in the description box, and along with that the Bucks Bounty link also you can find over there. Okay, so this one which I was talking about, so these are free classes, but we have a classes which we call as a plus class, where 100% syllabus coverage will be done. For this you need to take a subscription. So this is 100% syllabus coverage will be done over here in these classes. Okay, so the previous one, the special class where I mentioned, so here a certain percentage of topics will be covered. So you can first download the Unacademy Learners app and start taking up these sessions. So based on your comfort you can go for the subscription, so you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Unlimited access to all the courses will be there. So basically different educators will come up with different courses, so you will have access to all the courses once you take the subscription. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform, that is Unacademy platform. There is a regular doubt clearing session that will be conducted. So that is after about every 3 session. The fourth session will be a doubt clearing session. So whatever doubts you have, related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubt in the doubt clearing session. So if not, it is also called a answer writing session where question answer discussion will be done, or a quiz can be conducted here. Okay. Hi. Yes, you can ask. I have one question of biology. Yes, sure, you can ask. Okay. All right. So then, mentorship and guidance will be given. The study material will be given. The practice tests are given. The study material is basically in the form of PDF itself. So we'll be uploading that PDF. You have an option to download the PDF. So once you take the subscription there, and also practice tests are conducted, live test series are conducted, and also we have a batches. So there is basically batch in English as well as in, one second. All right. Can humans ever directly see a photon? As such, sunlight can be seen. Okay. So just a photon, it is basically like, just a light. So photon light is sunlight can be seen as such. But even the plants, when we mention, so that there is a chlorophyll, so this chlorophyll is actually the electron in that chlorophyll structure which is there, so that is going to get excited by the photon, like when the photon falls on it, so there is a excitement. So basically excitation of electron you can see, then it will come back to the ground level. So in that case what is going to happen is, so basically there is a activation of chloroplast. So that can be done in case of plant, where humans in general, so we see a light, so that is a photon itself, but overall it is a light. Okay. All right. So practice tests are conducted, live test series are conducted, and also you will have access to batch courses. So in that case, we have a batch in English, we have a batch in English as well. So now depending on your comfort, you can go for the English batch or the English batch here. And also with that, so there is a daily practice section, weekly mock test series are conducted, live quizzes are conducted, daily MCQ and subjective test series are also conducted. And here, yeah, so this one is basically weekly mock test series, which is going to help you in preparation for your finals, because the questions which will be given here, so right now here in Unacademy, like for ICSE class 9 and 10, so right now there is a scholar test going on, which is a weekly mock test series. So you will have access to these questions, like the quiz, once you take the subscription. So daily practice section is also there, live quizzes which are conducted by different educators, so you will have access to them. Okay. So if you are planning to take the subscription, so this is my referral code Vani YT. So with this referral code you will be getting 10% discount on the subscription. So I usually recommend learners to go for 12 months of subscription, because there is an added benefit where if you are subscribing for complete class 9 or maybe for class 10, so you will be getting class, so let's say now you are in class 9, so if you are subscribing for whole class 9, like 12 months, so you will be getting class 10, class 11 and class 12 subscription absolutely free along with this. So you can go for the 12 months of subscription, and for 12 months it is 17,250, but with the referral code Vani YT, so you will be getting 10% discount. So you need to apply it here. Okay, so add a referral code is mentioned, that is at the gift box, so you can just apply the code there, and once you apply, so basically you can see that there is a reduction in the price. Okay. So now if you just want to try like how exactly this works, so you can even try with 3 months of subscription as well. So this is completely your choice. Okay, but usually I recommend this one, because you have the added benefits with 12 months of subscription. So let's get started. So this is with respect to respiration in plant from Selena textbook. Okay, and while you start studying a particular chapter, okay, so make sure that you look at the syllabus, like what exactly is mentioned. Make sure that each and every topic so that is mentioned in the syllabus is covered, like you are thorough with each and every topic mentioned here in the syllabus. So make sure, like, this is not just applicable for class 9. So like, especially for class 10, when we mention, so there you will get a scope of syllabus also, like syllabus is mentioned below, they'll give scope of syllabus as well, like what exactly you need to concentrate on. So that will be given. So that is, from the Selena textbook only, you can just check it out and make sure that you are thorough with the topics which are mentioned here. So now in respiration in plant, what is given is the outline of the process, like what exactly is the respiration, then how exactly this gaseous exchange occurs. So brief outline of process mentioning the terms glycolysis and Krebs cycle and their significance is given. So reference to be made, that is basically aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So that is with chemical equation in each case that you need to look at, and experiments on the gaseous exchange as well as on the heat production. Alright, so whenever you start studying a chapter, so be it class 9, class 10, so usually make sure that you are thorough with the syllabus which is mentioned. So just go through the syllabus once and then start studying. But anyway, whatever is given in the chapter, so everything is important. But again, the syllabus will tell you, or the scope of syllabus will tell you to highlight this particular part so that you can be thorough with. Okay, so moving on to next one. You are in class 11. Okay, so please tell, how do I study for NEET? Okay, so you can, for bio, I can guide you. So basically, practice more and more MCQs. Okay, so there are lots of MCQ books which are available. So there is a Diksha, Arihan, so different publications are there. So practice one thing, like, practice more and more. So it can be with respect to the MCQs only. And other than that, you can concentrate. So now let's say you are studying maybe from NCRT you are studying, or maybe from ISC books you are studying, that is Selena itself. So in all these cases, make sure that you are reading through this whatever concept is mentioned, so you are thorough, so not just by hitting, so you are understanding also. Okay, so the process should be thorough, the chemical reactions if they are mentioned, so what is the balanced one, so why exactly this is the reason why it is why two molecules of water are required to form a particular oxygen. So all that you need to have an idea. Okay, so that can be with respect to, so in general, the chemical reactions which are mentioned even in biology, so those basics you need to know. So thorough process, like what exactly is the theory mentioned, so that is the thorough process you need to know. So just the practice more, hydrate yourself. Okay, so anyway, right now we are preparing. Okay, so you said you are in class 11. Okay, so you still have time, you have more time, so you just be calm and go on practicing more and more MCQs from the possible books that you have. Okay, so I think a lot of what is this, soft copies are available, so you can just take those soft copies and start practicing them, or whatever books you have, so that also would be fine, but try to practice more MCQs from each of those subjects. Okay, all right, so introduction, so like all other organisms, so this is introduction to what, so this is introduction to respiration in plants. Okay, so how exactly the plants are going to respire, so what is the mechanism there, so what gas are they going to take in, any idea which gas is used for respiration in plants? So what are they going to use? So whether it is carbon dioxide, whether it is oxygen, so what do they use for respiration, not for photosynthesis? No idea? Alright, so here basically, like all other organisms, the plant too require energy for carrying out body activities. So now for respiration, oxygen is taken. Okay, so this is always, so be it a human, be it any animal, be it a plant. So basically for respiration, oxygen is a must. So oxygen is taken and carbon dioxide is left out. So a lot of students, when I ask in general, like, what gas do plants take in for respiration, so a lot of them mention carbon dioxide. No, okay. So carbon dioxide is used for the photosynthesis process, but for their respiration, the plant respiration, so this is basically oxygen itself. So in this chapter you will learn about the two kinds of respiration, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration, the manner in which diffusion of respiratory gases occurs. Okay, so that is, as well as number of interesting experiments to demonstrate the respiration in plants are mentioned here. So in that case you will know the importance of aerobic respiration, or what exactly anaerobic respiration, that is a product of anaerobic respiration, also you will be looking at. So here let's have a look at what exactly is respiration. All right, so this is anyway, the whatever I have added here, so these are taken from Selena itself. So what exactly is respiration? So respiration, when we mention, so glucose is getting oxidized, all right. So while the glucose is getting oxidized, so when basically the product that we get, so you can see this is a glucose. All right, so this is a glucose, there is a oxidation of glucose. Then as usual, like we all do, so basically oxygen is taken in, carbon dioxide is left out. So same way, carbon dioxide and water are the waste product, so energy formation can be there. So there is a heat energy that can be produced, which can be converted into chemical energy, so that is, ATP formation. So this can be ATP. So there is a ATP that is required for most of the cellular processes. So now all living cells in a plant, as well as those in an animal, so they require energy for various body activities. So many of the body activities which are done, so for any activity, when we mention, so ATP is a must. So now you are walking, then I'm talking, so now for talking also the cheek muscles are moving here. Okay, so now as the contraction in the cheek muscle occurs, so basically for contraction relaxation, again there is a ATP required. So any activity that is being performed, a lot of energy is required, so or otherwise you cannot perform any function, like you'll just sleep off. So in that case ATP is a must, and that ATP you are getting mainly by the oxidation of glucose. Okay, so all living cells in a plant, as well as those in animals, so they require energy for the various body activities. For example, building up proteins, that is from the amino acids. So here in this case, many of the amino acids are joined together. Okay, and there is a formation of the protein. So many amino acids together, what it will form, so this will give us a protein. So same way, there is a fatty acid plus glycerol. So same way again, there is fatty acid, glycerol. So as such, so fatty acid plus glycerol together, so these are gonna form the lipid or the fat, what we mentioned. Now carbohydrates also many sugar units. So sugar, so many of the glucose we can see. So or in general monosaccharides. So sugar units. So many such sugar units are going to form a carbohydrate there. So in all these cases, for any formation of this, so now these are being combined, so there is a metabolism that is occurring to join them all like this. So there is a requirement of ATP. So to join these also there is a requirement of ATP. So there is to join them again there is a requirement of ATP, or to break them there is a requirement of ATP. Okay, so any process when we mention, so any activity that is occurring in your body, so ATP is a must. And that's the reason, if you have ever experienced, so basically some will have a dust allergy and they have a breathing difficulty because of the dust allergy. So what exactly happens in them is, they feel very difficult in breathing because there is completely blockage of mucus over here, and that's the reason basically they are not getting a sufficient amount of oxygen which is required for their body. And usually when you observe, so body will start to ache. So even in fever and all, so we say body ache is there. So there might be, so fever might be there, the cold and cough, where you have a blocked pathway, that is blocked airways are there. And by that, basically the proper oxygen is not moving in, that is required amount of oxygen is not moving in. And that is when we get a body ache, because to keep these muscles active, so ATP is required. So that is when, if a proper amount of oxygen is not supplied, so we feel many of, like we feel weakness, we get easily tired because there is no oxygen availability. And that's the reason always oxygen or the respiration is an important process, where glucose is getting oxidized, okay. And this is the one which is forming the ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. And along with that, you do know that there is a waste product like carbon dioxide production, there is a water production that will be done. So these are anyway removed through the lungs as well. So water can be removed in the form of vapor, like if you just hold your hand while you are respiring before your mouth or a nose, so you can feel that there is a water vapor, so you can feel something moist over here, okay. So what exactly that something moist is, the water is also lost through the lungs, so that is in the form of a vapor. So that means carbon dioxide is also given out, along with that the water vapor is also given out, and there is a ATP formation. So this energy molecule adenosine triphosphate, so this is used up for many of the activities, okay. So now where exactly do we need this ATP? So this is basically building a protein, that is from amino acid, making starch from the glucose, absorbing minerals from the soil. So for all this activity there is a requirement of energy, or laying down of cell wall, that is by the plant cell. So in order to keep their cell wall outer, so to keep the rigid cell wall, so again there has to be energy that has to be sent. So or all such activities that require the energy, so for all this activity there is a requirement of energy. So this energy is made available by breakdown of the glucose. So what exactly happens there? The glucose will get oxidized, and then basically you can see release of a carbon dioxide, release of a water, and there is a ATP formation. So this is all occurring because to produce the ATP itself. Alright. So now this chemical breakdown occurs by utilizing the oxygen and is represented by the following overall reaction. So you can see there is a glucose, there is oxygen, there is carbon dioxide, water, and there is a energy formation. So this is basically a respiration, and this is not the breathing mechanism that we are talking about. Here we are talking about the cellular respiration, okay. So this is about what? This is about the cellular respiration. So how exactly cellular respiration occurs? So cellular respiration you can see, so that is by oxidation of the glucose. So for that glucose, so first you need to consume a food, and that has to be degraded. So that means glucose is available. So same glucose. Now this glucose from where you are getting? Glucose you are getting from the food, okay. Now oxygen, so oxidation of the glucose, so oxygen from where you are getting? That is by breathing you are getting the oxygen, like breathing in, breathing out. So breathing in will give you oxygen, so oxygen or glucose oxidation will occur, and that is gonna occur here in the cell. So that means whatever you are breathing in, no, so that oxygen is taken through the blood, okay. So this is taken through the blood to the tissues, okay. And same way now you eat the food through the mouth, and in the small intestine this glucose is going to get absorbed again through the blood itself. The glucose is taken to the tissue. So that means blood is the one which is circulating the required materials. Oxidation of a glucose you can see, and that is when a product formation, that is ATP, is being formed, so which we are interested in. And other than that you can see carbon dioxide and water that is being produced. So this one is anyway not a balanced equation. So here you can see this is a balanced equation. So 1 glucose, 6 of the oxygen, 6 of the carbon dioxide, 6 of the water, and the energy formation. So that is the balanced equation there. So in that case only 1 glucose is sufficient to produce more amount of energy. So glucose, 6 of the oxygen, so this one will give us about 6 of the carbon dioxide, 6 of the water, and there is a energy formation that is being done. Okay, and this is what we are interested in. So this is a ATP, adenosine triphosphate. All right, adenosine triphosphate is the ATP which is required for many of the functions there. So this is the one. All right, so there are three important characteristics of respiration in this equation. So again this is taken from the Selena itself, but yes, you can, I think some of you are referring Srijan and all, and so anyway you can refer any, but for class 10. Okay, so for class 10 you can go ahead with the Selena textbook. So this one is anyway I have added from the Selena. So there are three important characteristics of respiration in this equation. So the breakdown of glucose C6H12O6 to carbon dioxide and water, so does not occur in a single step. So this is not a single step process. Okay, so this is what, not a single step process, not at all. Okay, so here we just write simply that there is we are combining the glucose with the oxygen, that is oxidation of a glucose. Okay, so oxidation of a glucose is occurring, we say, and there is a formation of carbon dioxide, ATP, and water is being formed. But this is not as simple, so not a single step process. So this one is going to take up a series of chemical steps are required here, and these steps occur in two major phases. So that is a glycolysis, where the glucose is converted into pyruvate, so that is occurring in a cytoplasm, and Krebs cycle, so that is pyruvate into carbon dioxide, water, and ATP, so this is occurring in the mitochondria. Okay, so you can see the pyruvate to ATP formation, so that is gonna be done in the mitochondria. So let's say this is a cell now. Okay, 1 second. All right, so here is the big cell. Okay, so this is what, this is cell. Okay, so in cell what will happen, so this is a cell. All right, so now in this cell let's just put up there is a cytoplasm that is present. So let me just highlight the cytoplasm that you can find. So this is completely a cytoplasm over here. Okay, so now now cytoplasm, when we mention, so basically you can see there is formation. So this is completely a cytoplasm, and cytoplasm is where you can see formation of glucose to pyruvate, that is glycolysis process. You can see that will occur here itself in the cytoplasm. So this is very important. Okay, so site of glycolysis is cytoplasm, and site of Krebs cycle is mitochondria. Okay, so here with respect to that, this is the cytoplasm that I'm trying to draw here. So let me just finish this off. I should have drawn a small cell instead of this big, but anyway, all right. So why I drew a big cell is basically I'll just show you how exactly, what exactly happens in Krebs cycle, as well as the glycolysis cycle. Okay, so in that case the glycolysis process is there and Krebs cycle. So this is a cell, so cellular respiration process I'm trying to explain here. So this part is basically a cytoplasm itself. So let's see this. Okay, so now let's just complete this part. So that is cellular respiration over here. So this one is cellular respiration in cell. Okay, so now what is this? So this is animal cell that I'm talking about. So let's just label this. So this can be animal cell. So if we have to mention, so maybe we can just draw the plant cell as well. So this one respiration process, where exactly? So that is in the cell. So let's take up this. So this is cellular respiration. Okay, just a second. All right, so now so there are cellular respiration when we mention. So this will occur in two steps. Just a second. Okay, so this is gonna occur in two steps. So you can see here it is a series of chemical steps. So these steps occur in two major phases. One is glycolysis, so that occurs in the cytoplasm. So now this part what you see here, so this is basically a cytoplasm. Okay, so this one is the cytoplasm. And now I have to draw the, actually since we are discussing about the plant cell here, so maybe I can just draw one more covering for this. So that is the cell wall part. Okay, so I'll just give one more cover for this so that it will be a plant cell. So since we are discussing about the respiration in plants, so otherwise it will get animal cell. So only difference is that there is a formation, or we can say, so there is a cell wall formation. So now there is a cell wall. So let me just write this one. So this one is cell wall, this one is cell membrane. All right, and so here in the cytoplasm you can see there is a glycolysis process occurring. So let's just write this. So here I'll just mention the glycolysis process occurs here, and the first one is glycolysis, where you can see glucose is getting converted here. Okay, so here what is happening, glucose is converted into pyruvate. Okay, so this is pyruvate formation, or which is basically can be called as a pyruvic acid as well. So this one is anyway pyruvate, or we can just write it as a pyruvic acid. Okay, so this formation you can see here in the cytoplasm. So this one the glycolysis process occurs here in the cytoplasm. So let me just write it in bracket. The glycolysis process occurs where? So that occurs in the cytoplasm. So this one is anyway, it is a pyruvate. All right, and now the next process here is the Krebs cycle, where you can see this pyruvic acid or a pyruvate will start to move into the mitochondria. So we'll draw the mitochondria over here. So there is a mitochondria. So this one is the outer membrane of the mitochondria. Okay, so I'll just label this as mitochondria. Okay, so this one is mitochondria, and the inner membrane. So inner membrane, you know that it is it is folded to form a cristae as such. So this one is the inner membrane. Okay, so this one is the mitochondria. Now here this one is the outer membrane, and there is an inner membrane, and this part is matrix. All right, one second. Yeah, so this part what you see, so this is completely a matrix now. So matrix, what will be there in the matrix? So basically matrix, when we mention, so here the reaction will occur. So that is the Krebs cycle. So you can see in the mitochondria, that is inside this matrix, so there is a Krebs cycle occurring. So I'll just draw this one. So that is Krebs cycle. What exactly happens? So now you know this pyruvic acid which is generated. So the pyruvic acid is converted into a. So you can see this one. The Krebs cycle, the pyruvate is forming a ATP. So that means here the Krebs cycle occurs. Alright, so Krebs cycle occurs here. So this is with respect to Krebs cycle. And Krebs cycle, when we mention, so basically ATP formation you can see. So ATP formation over here, and that's the reason the mitochondria is called as the powerhouse. So powerhouse of cells. So why is it called a powerhouse of cell? Because mitochondria is where a large amount of energy is being formed. So now you know this one is actually the outer membrane. Okay, so there is a outer membrane formation, and this one what you see now, this one is the inner membrane. So there is a outer membrane and there is a inner membrane formation. So as it occurs in two steps, so that is with respect to the glycolysis, glucose to pyruvate formation, and Krebs cycle occurring in the mitochondria. So this is what occurs when a cellular respiration we say. So this is nothing but two of the sites, cytoplasm and the mitochondria. So each breakdown step is due to a particular enzyme. So there are a lot of enzymes that are required, which will have a major importance, and they start breaking down. Now the energy liberated in the breakdown of the glucose molecule is not all in the form of a heat, but a large part of it is converted into chemical energy. So there is actually heat formation. So heat energy formation will be there. But one second. All right, so here yeah, I was explaining that. So as the powerhouse, that is mitochondria, produces this pyruvate to carbon dioxide, water, and energy formation that occurs. So all the energy. So there is no just the heat energy. So but heat energy is formed, which is later on the heat energy is converted into chemical energy, and that chemical energy is nothing but the ATP. So there is a ATP formation that you can see over there. All right, so that is the formation of ATP you can see. So heat energy to chemical energy formation. All right, so this is what happens. So the energy liberated in the breakdown of the glucose molecule is not all in the form of a heat, but a large part of it is converted into chemical energy, so which is in the form of a ATP. So now a chemical substance is basically a adenosine triphosphate. One second. All right, so here some of these steps are mentioned. So when energy is in the form of a ATP, okay, so this is used, the ATP is converted into ADP. So that means there is a ATP formation. Okay, so ATP is anyway being formed. The ATP, so when energy is in the form of a ATP, so that is basically ATP is used up. So let me just write it here itself. So ATP is used up. Okay, and while the ATP is used up, so this after this is being used up, so this is gonna become ADP, that is adenosine triphosphate, has now become adenosine diphosphate. So one of the phosphate group is used up from the ATP, which is basically a energy currency. So in that case, again when there is I'm really sorry. Okay, so again when there is more energy is required, or more energy is available by further breakdown of glucose, this particular ADP is reconverted into ATP. So in that case, again when more energy is available by further breakdown of glucose, so in that case again For ATP generation, you all know that the glucose oxidation has to occur. And when the glucose is available, that is by breakdown of a food, so that is when the ADP is back converted. So like it is converted back into ATP, and so this goes on and on. So that means ADP will be there always. Now to form a ATP, so there is a requirement of the glucose, or a breakdown of a glucose has to occur. And again there is a inorganic phosphate that has to be added here. So inorganic phosphate when we add, so that is when you can see basically there is a formation of ADP. Now here also the ADP to ATP formation, so again there is an inorganic phosphate that has to be added. Okay, so 1 mole of glucose on complete oxidation, so that will yield about 38 ATP. All right. So now here with respect to this, so what was mentioned, so now it is reconverted into ATP, and so this continues. All right. So now 1 mole of glucose on complete oxidation, so this is gonna yield about 38 molecules of ATP. So that is breakdown of a food glucose in respiration. So what exactly happens? The oxidation of the glucose, you can see. So there is a carbon dioxide, there is a water that is released, which can be lost through the lungs. So water in the form of vapor, it can go out. So energy is generated, so there is some heat energy that is retained. The other energy is basically converted into ATP there. Okay, so now this ATP is used up in the work. There is a phosphate that is getting separated and ADP that is getting separated. Again, when there is a heat energy or the energy is available, so with respect to that, you can see basically ADP will join together with the phosphate again to form a ATP. So this is repeating. So with respect to that, what will happen? The energy is basically heat energy. So that can be converted. So some of the energy will remain as a heat energy. Like all the heat is not converted into ATP there. So that energy is used up in forming the ADP plus phosphate, and ATP formation occurs there. Alright, so energy used in work. So this is a diagrammatic represent to show the use of energy liberated in the respiration. So this diagram also is available in Selena. So you can just buy the Selena textbook, and whole year you can refer this book, because the ICSE evaluation is done mainly based on the Selena textbook. So you for class 10, when we mention, so you can go ahead with the Selena itself. All right. So ATP is the energy currency of this cell. So all activities inside a living cell, they need energy which is available in the form of ATP as the immediate source. Hence this chemical compound ATP is described as the energy currency of the cell. So the respiration is a catabolic process of releasing energy, that is from a simple sugar glucose for carrying out life process. So why exactly it is a catabolic process? So metabolism, when we mention, so we have two of the reactions. All right, so under metabolism, so we have a catabolism and we have a anabolism. So catabolism is there, which is basically a destructive reaction. Okay, so this one is what? This is a destructive reaction. And now when we mention, there is an anabolism as well. So anabolism, when we mention, so this one we call as a constructive reaction. So that means what exactly is happening? So this is constructive reaction. So that means what exactly is happening here? So you can see the catabolism and metabolism, I mean anabolism occurring there. So catabolism is let's say glycogen is broken down further into glucose. Okay, so breaking of a glycogen will occur and many of the glucose units are formed. So anabolism, when we mention, so many of the glucose units are joined together and there is a glycogen formation that will occur. So this is a construction that is occurring. Here it is a destruction which can be seen. Okay, so here respiration, when we mention, so there might be a glycogen that is stored in your body which has to be further broke down, break down into glucose, and many of these simple sugar glucose are used up where the glucose is gonna get oxidized and there is a energy release that can be done along with the waste products like carbon dioxide and water. Yes, so mitochondria is the one that produces ATP. So here you can see I have just drawn. So as the Krebs cycle occurs here in the mitochondria. So this one is the mitochondria now. So there is the outer membrane, inner membrane, and the matrix is where you can see a Krebs cycle occurring. So that means the pyruvic acid which is produced by the glycolysis process. So the pyruvic acid is converted there into carbon dioxide, water, and then there is a ATP that is generated, and hence we call this mitochondria a powerhouse because there is a lot of power that is being generated, that is the energy currency ATP that is being generated there. Yes, Shambhavi. Okay, so now living organisms show two types of metabolic activity. So anabolic and catabolic. So constructive or biosynthetic process as it consumes the energy. So destructive or breaking down process. Okay, so that is destructive or breaking down process. It gives out a energy for use, that is by the organism. So in that case destruction is occurring, so this is giving out energy, so this is basically consuming energy. So for construction, yeah, so for constructions a lot of energy is required always. Okay, all right, so lot of energy is required. Now for destruction, like same way the what we do, if you have to build something, so you use, you need to think a lot in what angle that you need to build this, or what is the perfect material that you can use. So basically you use a lot of energy in thinking and also in constructing basically, but the destruction you just bring, bulldozer like thing is brought, and basically this is broken off, you just destruct the constructed part easily, so destruction is easy. So in that case destructive or breaking down process is gives out energy for use, that is by the organism. So respiration is a breaking down process by which living cell oxidizes organic substance, that is glucose, and releases carbon dioxide, water, and the energy there. So what is cistern? So cistern is this one. I'll just show you this. So you see this, right? So this membrane folding. So I'll just draw here and explain. So let's say this is a mitochondria. This is the outer membrane. Okay. And inner membrane of mitochondria. So this has a foldings like this. Okay. So it has a foldings like this, and these foldings are called as a cisternae. Okay. So this folding what you see. So this is the inner membrane folding and these are called as a cisternae, and inside this the matrix will be there. Alright. And cisternae is where the chemical reactions that occur in the mitochondria. Alright, so respiration versus burning, so that is combustion. So sometimes respiration is compared with burning, such as the burning of coal. Both are going to liberate the energy and both give the end products, that is carbon dioxide and water. But this comparison is only superficial. So in that case, both are liberating energy, both give out the product, that is carbon dioxide and water. But the difference between the two are as follows. So respiration is different and burning is different, or a combustion is different. So this occurs in a series of chemical steps. So this is just a single step process. Okay. So series of steps because glycolysis has to occur, Krebs cycle has to occur with lots of enzyme usage, and other than that, okay, it is clear. All right. So other than that, you can also see there is a electron transport chain which can occur. So that means many more steps are required here in the respiration. So this one is anyway done by the enzyme since it is related to the organic compound. So enzymes are going to play a role there. Here it is only the heat. Okay. Then biochemical process, physicochemical process. So anyway, here also glucose is there. So glucose is getting oxidized, ATP is being formed. So that is the chemical. And why we are saying bio? Because this occurs in living organisms. So this occurs in plants, this occurs in animals. This can occur even in bacteria or some of the fungi when we mention. So that's the reason this is a biochemical process. So this one is physicochemical process. Like, you take a paper, so there is basically, there is a oxygen that is available, so you burn it. Okay, so in that case basically combustion or burning is occurring, so there is atmospheric oxygen that is available, which is a physical process, so not occurring inside any of the living organism. So now energy liberated is basically ATP and some heat production. Here this is energy liberated as heat as well as the light, so that is burning. So you can see the light there, you can also feel the heat there. All right, so no light energy is produced in this, and there is a light production over here. So cellular process is this, and this one is a non-cellular process. So this is going to occur at the body temperature. So this will occur at the high temperature, so that is at the ignition point. So where does the energy required to carry life process come from? Any of you? No idea? Alright, so this one anyway. So where does the energy required to carry life processes come from? So this is coming from the food itself. Okay. So moving on to next one. Which of the following can synthesize their food? Yellow plants, green plants, animals and mycoplasma. So yes, it is green plants because they have a pigment called as chlorophyll, and that chlorophyll is a must to synthesize a food. So in green plants, all the cells, tissues and organs, so they carry out photosynthesis. Whether this is true or false? Any idea on this? Hi Prince. Anyway, Prince joined. I think I will be just ending this session. Okay. So in green plants, all the cells, tissues, organs carry out photosynthesis. It is true. Okay, so this is basically false because the sclerenchyma cell, meristematic cells. Okay, so they do not perform photosynthesis. So it is only the parenchymatous cells. Wherever you can see parenchyma cells, and that too if they have a chloroplast, so that is where you can see photosynthesis process occurring. Okay, so not all the cells, not all the tissues, because there is a sclerenchyma, there is xylem, phloem, the meristematic tissue, so they do not perform the photosynthesis. It is only the parenchymatous cells consisting of chloroplast, which is basically found in the mesophyll cells of the leaves. Okay, so mesophyll cells of the leaves are the ones which are gonna be having a palisade and a spongy mesophyll, and they are parenchymatous in nature, and that's the reason this is false. Okay, so what is meant by cellular respiration? Please provide biology notes of chapter flowers. So yes, anyway, whatever PPT that I have made, so this is made from the Selena itself. Okay, some extra pictures that I have added just to represent like what exactly is this. Maybe I can send it on my telegram. So just remind me once there. So I'll send it on my telegram. All right. So book, yes, Chand, is provided. So basically you can refer Selena textbook, okay. So you can just refer the Selena textbook. So that is even for class 10 you require Selena textbook. So Selena series is the best. But for now anyway, whatever is available, so that from there you can study. Anyways, the Surgeon book is there. Yes, Chand, like you said, then there is Selena also. So you can refer these books, whatever is available. For class 9 anyway you won't have board exam and all, so I think the question paper is coming from board for you all, right? Please make a video of class 9 and 10 board syllabus. Class 9 anyway it is all the chapters that you have, so there is no board. But for class 10, yes, I have already made one for term 1 term 2 separately. So term 1 is also made, term 2 is also made separately, so you can watch the recording that is there. And I'll make in the further classes also, one session I'll take on this one, okay. So that would be fine, I guess. Okay, so what is meant by cellular respiration? So breakdown of water, breakdown of air to consume energy, breakdown of food material to release the energy, breakdown of a soil to release the energy. Okay, so here what is meant by cellular respiration? Which one is the proper, like, appropriate answer here? Any idea? So this one, water is mentioned, air is mentioned, soil is mentioned. So but this is the right answer, because when you take a food, that is when you get energy. That is because your food, that is glucose, is getting or oxidized, and that is when the energy is being formed. And that is why energy, like, whenever we are out of energy, so basically we start consuming a lot of food, right? So like, I'm feeling very weak, I need to have food. So that is because once you eat a food, the glucose will be supplied to your body, and that glucose is getting oxidized, that is by the respiration. So you are taking in oxygen, right? So the same oxygen is going to oxidize the glucose, and that is when the energy ATP is being formed, and that is when you get again energy to do many more work, okay. So C is the right answer. Yes, that's right. Okay. So all right. So we are at the end of the session, and so you can watch the recording of the sessions for those who joined right away. All right. And if you need any of the notes, you can join the community as well, and you can ask me there, or otherwise on my Telegram channel. Okay. So that is Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology. You can search on Telegram and you can join my Telegram. So this one is a guardians batch, which is all subject batch for ICSE class 9, and the start date is 1st of June. So yes, you can watch the recordings of these sessions which are already done, because you will have access to these recordings, and there are many more sessions which are yet to go live, so you can take up the live session. So PCMB is being covered here, that is physics, chemistry, maths and bio. Flowers, pollination, fertilization. So this is basically the PDF. In the form of PDF, I can just send it on my community. Okay. So tomorrow anyway, I haven't sent yet, but I can send it there itself. When can I send? So today is what day? So today is Thursday. Wednesday, right? Yeah. So today is Wednesday. So by Sunday, I'll try to send all the possible notes which are there. Okay, so I'll send it on my community. So you can just find the community link there on the uh, description box. Okay, or otherwise you can even join my Telegram channel as well. So that is Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology. So there also I can just send you the notes. Okay. Alright, so PCMB is covered physics, chemistry, maths and biology. So if you subscribe for whole class 9, that is 12 months, so you will be getting class 10, class 11 and class 12 subscription absolutely free along with this. Introducing community, so never miss on any update from your favorite educator. Get session notes and practice material there itself. Share your feedback directly with the educator via poll. So check out the link to the educator community below here in the description box. So Bugs Bounty, opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video. Be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content using the form in the description. I hope this is all clear. Please send as soon as possible. Yes, anyway I have to search that because already classes are done. I'll just search and send it. Okay. Alright, so see you all in the next session. So subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy, ICSE and ISC boards. Click on bell icon to get notified about the session, and download the Unacademy Learners app, and PDF I can anyway send it on community or the Telegram. Like and share the video with your friends. Okay. Alright then, so see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone. Take care. Thank you all.